So what I always try and do is give you everything I try and do. I try and make it real world in terms of it's real stuff that you can implement today, or something happens in our real world that you try and react to. So you had Colin and Cuthbert the Caterpillar happen this week. The AirTags were launched this week, but actually this brochure came through my door at home this week. And what was quite interesting is that my wife is a better runner than I am, but we both kind of run. And actually, so this came through from sportshoes.com. And what it was, if you flick through, it says no fun standing still on the back. And actually what it's got is a series of adverts, which is essentially what they are, for different brands. And what was interesting was that on the inside page, you have a double page spread with ASICs, and these trainers are £120. Next one was Nike, the more expensive, 170. Then you had Saucony, 120. And what was quite funny is that on every single spread, all of these customers are selling exactly the same thing, running shoes, at exactly the same price. Yes, there's a band, but actually what it got me interested in is that when you actually go through them all, what each company has to do is differentiate itself with the same product, arguably the same price, and within one sentence. And I thought it was a really interesting concept that when you then look at your own business or etc., we often always try and overcomplicate our messages, and I could be guilty of this too, that actually the concept of if you had to distill down into one sentence what makes you different and why should people buy your product, I thought it was a really interesting exercise to do. So one of the big things that I've also noticed is if you take the next page, you have the one sentence for each product, which is fine, it's kind of functional, but it's the branding behind it. So for instance, that chap there is almost a trail adventure runner. There's snow in the background, and he's obviously very happy and active. As well, if you look at some of the Nike stuff, it's a guy on the road, it's more performance. But what they're then doing is actually differentiating the brand with the imagery that they use. And again, the imagery is arguably more important than the actual words, if that makes sense. And it's something that we cover in the course, but actually it's really important to, when you're doing your promotion, and especially if you're going to get either professional photography done or stock footage, etc., really think about the brand. What is it that you want to portray, and what are your differentiators versus your competition, and how can you show that in images as well as in one sentence? And it was just something that I thought was really interesting to kind of talk about. For me, these are actually my shoes, which I kind of brought up before. So I bought these about 2 months ago. So I've had Nike trainers and running shoes and basketball shoes for years. I'm a size 11. And actually I ordered these. That running shoes you're meant to replace every, I don't know, X 100 miles, because the cushioning goes and you don't want to kind of damage yourself. But the thing that got me, so these were custom made, Nike ID, and they've got my name on, and actually they've got Kipchoge's 1:59.40, which was his world record breaking time on the back. But the point is I got to choose and customize the sole, the layout, the design, everything. And again, that can be a really good way to differentiate your product or service, is customization. So for consultants, you're inherently customizing everything. But actually, you know, for me, one of the long-term goals for the roadmap would be to actually be able to customize the covers. And it's all the little things that add up, which add real value to people, that, you know, you could consider as well. Hi, Joro. I know where you're from. You're in Lagos in Nigeria. I was asking the guys to comment where in the world they're from. But this is one of the things that I've really enjoyed, actually, is that when in the course we talk about something called lead actions, which is how when you identify the things which will help you achieve your goal. So in sales, it could be how many phone calls you make, etc., etc. One of the big things for me when I'm launching the roadmap is my live streams. And actually, it's just getting people almost comfortable with me and what I'm trying to do, and almost me as a person. That yes, it might not be perfect, and yes, it could still be get better over time. But I just want people to know that I'm committed and I try my best, and actually I try and add value every week. So for instance, I've noticed most weeks that I just get a few more viewers and interaction each week, which is really important to me as well. But no, Ajuro, thank you. And actually, I'm going to assume that you're still watching. I'd love to get you on as a guest on my interview series as well. So if you're up for it, just mention yes underneath, and if not, I'll drop you a DM. And what I think would be really interesting to talk about is to talk about Ojimi, but actually just your business in general, because a lot of the people I speak to at the moment with interview series are all in Europe one in the US, but I'd love to start talking to people in Nigeria and South Africa, and I might get some of the other board members on as well. And actually, I really do want this to be accessible for everyone. So cool, hopefully we'll get the chance to catch up. Sanat, this is hilarious because actually Sanat won't know, but I was planning to actually reach out to you as well if you'd love to be a guest. So Sanat, I used to play basketball with, really great guy, very honest and etc. Also got a great business mind on him, and he's based in Bangalore in India. And Sanat, no joke, I was planning to reach out to you to see if you would also like to be a guest on the live stream, because it's, it's important for me to kind of catch up. But actually, I think you've got a really good story to tell as well. That plus, I think it's India and Papua New Guinea have the highest Google search rates for alternative MBAs in the world, which is an ulterior motive, but it's still true. But I would love to kind of get you on, have a catch up and share your story as well.